Well, well, well. Seems I was correct. All of you laughed at me and pointed and you were like, no, Calcit's gone. And while I'm not necessarily one-to-one following the story at this point, I do catch some things. And given that this is a new Calcit EP, and that it's called Innocence, and that apparently with the more recent story, it has been revealed that she's not technically dead. Ha! Fuck you! I was right! You all doubted me when I said that, when I said she wasn't dead. I had so many naysayers who were like, no, she's gone. She's not coming back. You think my fucking wife would ever die? She's immortal, bitch! Got you! Oh! Anyway, so here we are listening to this song, and I suppose without further ado, let's go! Ooh. I love where this is going already, with like the tone.
How many winters in a gaze, lost inside a maze, and how many feelings unspoken,
Starting so light.
held in this hand. The weight of the old skies on the shoulders, sunlight in the skies. Who would have known there's an end to eternity?
It's a beautiful piano.
Tailess no more, as a breeze brushes by, as the days drift on by. Found a steady shore of trust in this vast world.
They really have upped their visual game recently too.
Side by side, the script is fading away, and the frozen dawn streams forth into the new.
Hanging on that. Ooh. I really love this piano part. This is so beautiful. Just building up everything. And those notes there. Beautiful reflection.
There for me, setting my burden down. A quiet spring has come. I am in a brand new chapter.
Okay, I see what you did.
As a breeze brushes by,
Kind of let it hang there a little bit longer than I thought.
found a steady shore of trust in this vast world. As we walk side by side, the script is fading away, and the frozen dawn streams forth in the weight
It sounds a lot like another song that I've heard from Arknights. Like, not exactly, but like the energy it's going for. It might just be how it's being built. I can't remember the name of the other one. I thought I'd be able to find it. Cool. Ooh. Play around with the stereo there. Adorable visual here. Just the different forms. I didn't expect the chibi one. damn. That's my fucking wife right there, okay? All of you doubted me. You doubted me so much. I mean, like, it's not entirely accurate that she's fine, but like, it's not inaccurate either, so get off my ass. I couldn't have asked for a better song for Calcit to come back on. This song is gorgeous, and it does the perfect thing for a character that needs to reflect what happened to her. You know, like, even though I said I don't follow the Arknights stuff really at all, I do follow Calcit because she's my wife. I adore what this song did for her character and the evolution of her coming back. Like, musically, what the song did is just breathtaking. So what we have here is an E flat. That is our key. At least I'm pretty sure it's our key, and probably why it sounds so much like another song I've heard, because E flat is something that they've definitely used for other Arknights songs. It's a beautiful, bright key, has a lot of flexibility to it. It's one of my personal favorites, and that's kind of where we sit. But this song mostly starts on the A flat, and it brings us up from A flat to B flat to C minor to E flat. And that's kind of our build on this song, as you could probably tell. Very bright, very lifting, and it follows that exact pattern for at least a good chunk of the chorus. But that's obviously not all that's happening, so the next time around, we get that A flat again, B flat again, C minor again, but this time we go up to a G minor, and that just lifts us a little bit further. It brings the emotion higher. It makes it a little bit more fragile until we lift until the next A flat on the octave above and settle back into the A. So this is the beauty of this song. What this is basically doing chord progression wise is building up and keeping a very solid tonic on that E flat there. Very solid. I mean, like, it is beautifully solid. The A flat hinges on that E flat. The E flat obviously hinges on that E flat, so that entire build that we have is kind of circulating around it. Even the C minor has it in there, and then it just settles in. And what this does is it builds you up, tears you back down, brings you above, and grounds you. It's that push and pull of, like, almost how, like, when a character's animated, you kind of like see them sit and kind of bounce into place. That sort of settling feeling is what this song is doing. It's lifting the emotions and expectations of the listener and then putting them firmly back in place. Like, this is this big emotional build that we have here, and the payoff for it, we're seeing that there's a great emotional release to it, but then it has to come back to earth at some point. And that's what happens after we jump back down to that B flat. That's not like 100% exactly what they're doing for that, going back down to the B flat, but to me, that feels the best to get the emotional point across while also keeping the chords consistent. Because I do love that feeling of going up to that A flat and then back down to that B flat. It just has this jump of, we're all the way up here, let's go back down. You could continue to build up off of that and then settle back down into the C minor for a similar effect, but I think that builds up a little bit too much in my opinion. Either way, this is exactly how you should do an emotional moment in a character that has basically just come back from the dead. And I also love that other part, that like arpeggiated section. I didn't learn all of it, but I kind of figured out some of it. It's also very hard for me to play because I'm not a good pianist. So that high part that happens, that break where like basically everything cuts out and then it comes back to that like heart rate monitor. It basically goes like this on the high hand. And I love that. That's an emotional settle as well. It changes it from this to this, and it just settles it into that, the reality of it. Taking this half step down is a really depressive tone to take. So when you're trying to make something emotionally weighted, you need to do adjustments like that to make it feel a little bit more impactful. If you just had to do the same thing twice, the song wouldn't have felt like it was going anywhere. So having it go from up here back down is another moment of that emotional reflection in the song, similar to what I did going from that high A flat back down to the lower B flat. There's a very similar approach to that, but that's just the high hand. The other hand is doing something equally as neat, but I couldn't quite figure out the exact notes, so I'm hoping I'm in the right ballpark with this. doing that. And that's everything. That's a long stretch. You take something that's so immediately, like, no, I wouldn't say claustrophobic, but it's all very there. But what that does is stretch it out a little bit more and brings it all the way up to that B flat up there, and that's beautiful because that's a note that is similar to how we are in this A flat down here, kind of brings you up just slightly above where that is. It's a very interesting choice to go up to that B flat instead of just ending at the A flat up here instead, for example. This is the emotional hinge of this song, the fact that there's always just a little bit more and you have to push just a little bit further, but you always have to bring it back down. The arpeggiating in that section does that there. It builds it up. It feels a little bit more free. I wouldn't say whimsical, but kind of light and airy before everything hits again and the chords come back in and we have the same build that we had before, where we have to really ground ourselves on that A flat. So this is gorgeous. This musically is perfect for this character, like I said earlier, and that's exactly why. How they built this song out, what they're doing lyrically, of course, is going to reflect it. They always get that pretty much correct. There's very rare moments where any game has done like bad lyricism when it's relating to a character. Sometimes it's a little bit worse than others. This one, beautiful, vocalist, gorgeous. I love everything it was doing. Again, the visual game on this as well, fucking absolutely perfect. I loved all of the different versions of her that were being cycled through as if we're seeing many instances of her at the same time. And she's like going through this change constantly. Like, not only is her being and person not quite corporeal, but the concept of her is still trying to shape itself until it lands on what I can only assume to be the new design for her. And that's just a really nice visual tie to everything else that I've already talked about with how this song was built. It's bringing you up, it's changing things, it's moving stuff around. You just don't know what's going to be next because it keeps changing little things. And even though I didn't show it, there was actually another moment in there where, like, that arpeggiated section I showed you with like the individual notes there, there's one more that follows it at the end that flays everything out into basically a full resolution. And what that does emotionally is, instead of building it up and sounding pretty on the second one and leaving it at that, it answers the question that it asked itself, which, you know, you're asking kind of a question. There's a lot of call and response in music and writing like that. And that's what that did, is it answered the call. And the way that that works out for the song is it finishes off that thought and it continues on into the next part of the song. It's kind of just a metaphorical period in a way. And I love when songs do that because you can feel those moments. And a lot in that way is kind of like the visuals, how they had Calcit going through all these different variations. It's changing, it's moving, it's flowing until suddenly it lands on one. And that's the end of it. And now we know. You know, but like there's still so many more questions to be had. And the song really ends on this lift. Even though it does resolve, it doesn't quite like solidify itself in any sort of firm answer. It doesn't just end and feel really, really secure at the end of the song. It feels like there's a little bit more there. There's just a little bit of energy left on the table, and they didn't answer everything, probably because we don't have those answers yet. She probably doesn't have them either. We just got here. We just found out that this is possible. We're still reeling from the last many months that we had where she wasn't there, and you're trying to find a way to get her back. So this all speaks so well to the moment, and I think that that is just absolutely fantastic. Beautiful work as always. The original Arknights soundtrack is still one of the kings for that sort of emotional hinge. I'm not saying like Enfield is bad, but when you want to hear something that just hits different, the people they choose to work on the Arknights original soundtrack, fucking brilliant every single time. They always bring their A game, and there's never really a bad moment every single time they bring a song forward. I don't know why that is, if they just have like a better team out there picking these people, or if it's just sheer imagination and this desire to make something so gorgeous for whatever reason, like a personal investment maybe, that makes these songs feel so much more personal. But like, God, they always nail it with the original Arknights stuff. Again, Enfield is fine too, but so far at very least, they haven't gotten to the same level of holy shit, that's perfection that Arknights has done multiple times in their soundtrack. But I think I'm done yapping about it today, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want me to get to something else from Arknights, by all means, drop in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. But if you don't want to do any of that, maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!